Thank you very, very much. Can you hear me okay? Great. I'm Mitchell Kaplan. On behalf of all of us at the Miami Book Fair, I want to welcome you to another marvelous evening. If you've been here the last few nights, you've been witness to some truly, truly remarkable events that we've had here. And I think tonight will be no different. As all of you know, this week, during the week, after the event with Marlon James tonight, we have Tom Brokaw here. Tomorrow evening and Friday evening, we have additional events. And then all day Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, the streets will be filled with rainless books. I really hope so. We're going to have books in all the different booths. It'll be pretty remarkable. So we hope you'll be with us. Please map out your strategies. You can go to get the most up-to-date information is at miamibookfair.com, and you'll hear about everything happening. Just as a little sidelight, tonight is also the National Book Awards ceremonies. This Friday night, all of the nominees for the National Book Award, whether long list or short list, over 27 of them will be with us on Friday evening. And then they will also have their individual programs throughout the weekend. So that's up on the website, since we didn't know who the nominees would be when we put out the book fair guide. I also would like to give some thanks to a number of different people. This truly is a cast of thousands that put this on. First and foremost, we have to give a rousing applause to Miami-Dade College for this remarkable gift that they give us. This is the 32nd year of the Miami Book Fair. It's really hard to believe. And next, I would just like to, in a brief way, make a remembrance of someone who was one of the early founders of the book fair with us. She was on the board of directors for a long, long time. If you ever came to the Chapman events on Saturday or Sunday, she was sort of the mother hen running everything in here. Her name was Barbara Skegan, and Barbara Skegan passed about 4 or 5 months ago, and we just want to remember her if we can while we do this book fair this year. I would also like to personally thank all of our sponsors, as well as all of the remarkable staff and volunteers. If you're a volunteer or a staff member, please raise your hand. There are so many of them that work on this. And then just on a quick personal note, before I bring out the person who's going to introduce our wonderful guest, I personally also want to thank Marlon James for coming tonight. Well, we've had him since the very first book, and he also helped open our store in the Cayman Islands. He came for that event as well. He's been a good friend, and we're so happy to have him with us tonight. And to introduce him, we're happy to have another Marlon, Marlon Hill. All of you know Marlon Hill. Marlon is a wonderful attorney in town. But even more so, I've learned from working with Marlon on the board of advisors of the book fair that when Marlon speaks, everyone listens. I have never seen someone as well connected electronically as well as spatially as Marlon Hill. And not only that, but he's one of the nicest guys around, and he's been so committed to this book fair that I want to personally thank him for all that he's done for the Miami Book Fair. So please welcome with me Marlon Hill.
Good evening. It is Miami Book Fair week. Aren't you excited? Now, if you're ready for Miami Book Fair, the 32nd year, let me hear you say one love. One love. One love. We're ready for the Miami Book Fair. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to have you here this evening, this week, before we begin the street festival. It is not sacrosanct but an honor that I'm here before you as a past student of the St. George's College in Jamaica. For all the Jamaicans who are here, please raise your hand. But I'm about to introduce a Wolmerian. Wolmer's is the oldest school in the Americas, formed in early 1700s, and our special guest this evening is a past student of that school in Kingston, Jamaica, And I had to say that because my older brother, Dr. Michael Hill, was the head boy, as they would say, or the student government president when Marlon was in school. The other Marlon, no relation, at Woolworth's Boys School in Jamaica. Our special guest this evening is also a past student of the University of the West Indies in Kingston, Jamaica, as well. His first novel, John Crow's Devil, was a finalist for the Los Angeles Times Book Prize for First Fiction, the Commonwealth Writers' Prize, and was a New York Times Editor's Choice. The Book of Night Women won the 2010 Dayton Literary Peace Prize and the Minnesota Book Award as well. And he was also a finalist for the 2010 National Book Critics Circle Award in Fiction and an NAACP Image Award winner. Since 2007, Marlon has been teaching English and creative writing at McAllister College in St. Paul, Minnesota. And he loves to escape to Miami to get away from the Midwestern tundra, just like a real Jamaican. In addition to winning the Man Booker Prize this year, for this book, which I hope you have your personal copy already, A Brief History of Seven Killings, this book was also a finalist for the National Book Critics Circle Award, the OCM Bocas Prize Award for Caribbean Literature for Fiction, the Anisfield Wolf Book Award for Fiction, and the Minnesota Book Award as well. A Brief History of Seven Killings, which begins in 1970s Kingston, during a very tumultuous time in Jamaica's history, is a fictional exploration of dangerous and unstable era in Jamaica's history that would claim so many lives, including that of the famed Bob Marley, who also resided right here in Miami, Florida. So, with that, please let us welcome the New York Times Book Review calls him a virtuoso, meaning that we need to give him a big up, all right? For an unforgettable evening with an unforgettable storyteller, let's take a trip to Kingston Town with Marlon James.
Oh, man. Thank you. Thanks for coming out. Man, two Marlons on the stage. What was going to happen? So many Jamaicans are here. Good, so I can read some patois then. All right. So I'm gonna read a few sections from the book and talk about it a little bit, the genesis of it, how a novel that ended up being nearly 700 pages started out being my shortest novel. Actually, I was trying to write a crime novella. So the very first page that I wrote in this book is now on page 458, which can give you an idea of the kind of genesis for this book and how, in order to write it, I had to let go of everything even I thought good writing was or how to write a book, especially the way I wrote my previous novel, which for what it is, it's still a very sort of classic idea of a novel. There's an arc, there's a climax, there's a resolution, there's a catastrophe, lots of people die. All right, that's every book I write. But still, that this one was the one that I really kind of had to shut up and let the other voices tell the story. So the first person I'm going to read, they're all different characters, is Nina Burgess. And this book starts out with a whole cast of characters. The one thing they have in common is that they're kind of watching Bob Marley. Whether they're stalking him, whether they're plotting, whatever they're doing, he is the focus of their attention. And this character, Nina Burgess, is an unemployed secretary from Havendale. And she's been kind of, let's call it stalking Marley for a good while now. And this is her near the end of the day. She spent almost the whole day outside his house. So even she's annoyed with herself. So this is her. 17 buses, 10 minibuses, including one calling itself Revlon Flex, that already passed twice. 21 taxis, 376 cars, I think. And not once did the man step out of his house, not even to get some air, not to make sure that the guards are doing their job, not even to tell the son, later, my brethren, I man have serious work to do. The man on the lime green scooter came back in the evening and I sent him away again, but not before he got off and spoke to the man at the gate for 2 minutes and 17 seconds. I timed him. Danny's watch still works. But it wasn't until lunch one time at the Terra Nova Hotel when I ran into a former schoolmate, breast drooped down like a tired goat, but still a stuck-up bitch, that I found out that Timex is the same watch that my daddy gave Hortense for last week for 15 years of meritorious service. This bitch was calling me cheap. I wanted to tell her how happy she must be as a married woman, now that she no longer has to bother with looking attractive. But I smiled and said, I hope your little boy can swim because I just saw him run to the pool. Car 377, 367, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72. I need to go home. But I'm outside here waiting on him. You ever feel like home is the one place you can't go back to? It's like you promised yourself when you got out of bed and comb your hair that this evening, when I get back, I'll be a different woman in a new place. And now you can't go back because the house expects something from you. A bus stops. I fan it off, trying to tell the driver that I don't want to get on. But the bus is still squatting there waiting on me. I step back and look down the road, pretending that people aren't in the bus, cussing that they have to get home and plenty of people to feed, so why this damn woman don't get on the bus? I walk off far away for the bus to drive off, but walk right back to the bus stop when the dust settles. The bass creeps up on me from across the road. It sounds like he's been playing the same song all day. It sounds like another song about me, but there's probably 24 women in Jamaica right now, and another 2,000 in the world, who think the same thing about any song of his that come on the radio. But Midnight Ravers is about me. One day, I go and tell Kimmy, and she'll know, won't she, that just because she's the prettiest doesn't mean she get all of them. A white police car with blue stripe going all around parked itself by the gate. I didn't even see it coming. Jamaican police tend to use their siren all the time, just to get people to clear the street so they can reach Kentucky Fried Chicken quicker. I never have dealings with the police. That's not true. There was one time when I was on the number 83 bus to Spanish Town for an interview, because that's 1976 for you. You take a job where you can find it, and this was a bauxite company. When 3 police cars sirened us down and forced the driver to stop right there on the highway. Everybody evacuate the vehicle at the present moment, the first policeman said. Right there on the highway. Nothing but a thin stretch of road with swamp on both sides, and everybody had to file out. Most of the women started cussing about having to get to work on time. Most of the men stood silent because the police only thought twice about shooting women. This is a spot search, the policeman said. We are going to do the procedure of getting all of her name. And what you name, sweet girl? Pardon me. You, the hot thing that I carry the swing, what you name? Burgess, Nina Burgess. Bond, James Bond. Sound like you should be in movie picture. You carrying a concealed weapon under there? Man, may have to search you. Man, may have to scream rape. And who the rascal going carry? He sent me back over to the other woman while another policeman gunbutt one of the men who started to talk about equal rights and justice. Whenever one of them gets shot and plenty do, there's a part of me, the part before morning coffee, that smiles a little. I shake it out. I wonder if the guard over the gate is telling the police right at this moment that I've been at the bus stop all day watching this house. But instead, somebody says something, and the fat policeman, there's always one, laughs, and it echoes all the way over to the side. He leaves to get back in his car, but somebody from inside shouts at him. He looks back in his car, but somebody from inside, I know it's you. A car is coming on my side of the road 90 feet. I can beat it before it slams into me, and I know it's you. I just know it. The car, 40 feet? Run right now. Don't blow your damn horn at me, son of a bitch, deaf like your damn mother. I'm in the median, too many damn cars driving down the other side of the road, and me in the middle, maroon like Ben Gunn. I just want you to see me. It's you. It must be you. Remember me? Midnight Ravers? It's about me, even though it was after midnight and you might not know what I look like in the day. I just want a favor. I just need a little help. I know it's you, and the policeman is waiting. Good, good, wonderful, good. He's coming outside. It's not you. Another guard runs outside to tell him something, and that fucking fat policeman laughs again and deposits himself in the car. I'm stuck in the median, traffic blurring past me, lifting up my skirt. So I'm going to move on. Feel free to. So, I'm going to read a conversation. This is between two Americans. And, why you laugh? What? So the two Americans in the scene are both CIA guys. One is Barry DeFlora, and he's a CIA station chief in Jamaica in 1979. And the other character, his name is Bill Adler. And Bill Adler is a rogue agent who in the book, only a few months before came to Jamaica and exposed every CIA agent working in the country. So they have this phone conversation that goes on every other year. So we're lucky that we catch them in 1979. So this is Barry DeFlorio. Politics shape policy. That's been on my mind all week. That and Bill Adler. He called me again 2 days ago. Funnily enough, both him and Louis. He was feeling particularly pissed about being kicked out of the UK. Come on, Bill. As small as America's dick is, these lammies will stretch all the way across the Atlantic to suck it. Good point. I knew I was biding time, but was kind of hoping, you know. Bad form, even for an agent, not for an ex-agent, not ex, fired. Tomato, tomato. How's Santiago? I hear it's sunny in the summer. Really, DeFlorio, Brzezinski won't find this conversation half as interesting as Kissinger did. Maybe not, but didn't you hear? We're cutting costs all around. Anybody waiting for the phones to be debugged is shit out of luck. Speaking of cutting costs, how's that broken record you can't seem to fucking fix? Touchy. It's one motherfucker for February, in case you've been paying attention. Everybody's touchy. What do you want, Adler? What makes you think I want something? Aw, honey, you call because you're all lonely? Never met a guy in the field who wasn't DeFlorio. Then again, you're an accountant. You know, if we're gonna be friends, you really have to stop calling me accountant. No, DeFlorio. Don't be so smarmy, DeFlorio. It doesn't suit you. If you knew what suited me, you'd call me Bar, or Barry, or Bernard like my mother-in-law. Now for the second time, what can I do for you? Did you see all that stuff about Iran? Does disco suck? Just making chat. No, you're making small talk. I heard John Barron's writing a sequel to his KGB book. Might as well. Lord knows we have to ferret out those KGB sleeper agents. Yeah, and the traitors who support them. Who would that be? The Bill in his book? I read that I'm an alcoholic skirt chaser who's constantly broke. So you've read it? Of course I've read it. I'm surprised that you're taking this wannabe agent so seriously. His book is at the very least as entertaining as yours. Fuck you. I have another book coming, by the way. Of course you do. You have at least 1,000 more lives to fuck up. By the way, how's your buddy Cheparov? Who? Nifty, very skillful. But shit, Adler, even the Daily Mail knows that you've been talking to Cheparov. I don't know who. Edgar Anatolovich Cheparov, Novosti News Agency in London. He's KGB. Go ahead, I'll just sit here while you act all aghast that you didn't know. Cheparov isn't KGB. And I wear briefs, not boxers. You've been in contact with him since 1974. I don't know anybody at Novosti News. My dear Bill, you'll simply have to do better. First you say you don't know him, then you say he isn't KGB. Should we just pause while you get your thoughts together? If you did know Cheparov was KGB, you're either very stupid or very gullible. Or maybe you just need some money. How much did Cuban intelligence pay you? $1 million? $1 million? You don't know Cuba. Lord knows you do. What do you want? Information. How much? A treasure trove? Wasn't that your exact words to KGB when you tried to whore yourself out? I'm not asking for information, prick. I'm giving it. Some of it might even concern you. Yale boy. Hey, don't shoot me because you swam out of Tacoma, Florida. Whatever you're selling, I'm sure they'll not buying. This conversation is being recorded. We've established that. No worries, it will be evidence for later. For when I turn myself in? No, for when we fucking catch you. Your accountants couldn't catch a breath. This from the case officer who got caught trying to bug an embassy at 5 a.m. Do you know about the horrors book? What's the horrors book? Can't confirm what they're calling it, if they're calling it anything. My biggest regret in life, I swear, is to have put out my book before this shit broke. I don't know what you're talking about. And one day we're going to find that leak. One day soon, sooner than you think. This is an awfully long phone call. You sure you can afford it? I really have to close up shop, Bill. Oh yeah, all that packing and saying goodbye, wonderful. Poor President Ford. He was on the fucking Warren Commission and didn't even know what we didn't tell him. What are you going on about now? The horrors book. Who gave it that name? You gotta wonder. No, I don't. I swear, sometimes, Adler, you're not talking to me at all. It's like we're two girls and you're talking about some boy just so the boy can overhear you. Few years out of the company and you're like those crackpots thinking aliens abducted you just to stick a dildo up your ass. Jeez. Maybe it's not a book, it's a file. A file in the CIA. The CIA has a file. And top secret to boot. How did you get this job? Don't insult my intelligence, Fleur. I don't have to. I'm telling you about a file Schlesinger compiled for Kissinger. The same report he presented to Ford, Christmas Day 1974. So you're talking to me about 1974. Dude, I hate to break it to you, but we've got a new president. And even he's not going to be president much longer if today gets any worse. Iran's blowing up all over the world, and the world press, and poor William Adler just now passing out shit that everybody else shat out in 1974. Kissinger presented a version, the dressed up file, not the juicy stuff. The original file is still floating out there, and I hear it's a doozy. Well, you've already heard my opinion of your opinions, Adler. Running out of writing material? You're a garbage man, DeFlorio. The only reason you're not interested is that you're not high enough to be interested. Schlesinger's little memo has it all. All the little things that the average American thinks some spy novelist cooked up. The breakdown of Tom Hayden's shit. Who Bill Cosby's fucking. Okay, that ended up being ironic. Mind control after LSD. Assassinations all over the place. Lumumba. Your buddy Mobutu. Correction, Frank's buddy. Well, you and him. The number of assassination attempts on Castro authorized by Kennedy. Did you know that Haviland's been pushed to retire? Who? Haviland, the man who trained you and me. Sorry, I forgot. You trained yourself. You think your buddies in the KGB are on some humanitarian mission to save the fucking planet? Is that what you think? Ex-agent, remember? And you don't know what I think. Oh, I know exactly what you think. Originality is not one of the things you got going for you. I should have known you wouldn't have given a shit about the horrors book. You're the worst of the lot. It's one thing if you approved of what your government is doing, but you just don't even care. I love how you assume you have me figured out. It's one of your worst shortcomings, Adler, thinking you can read people when you can't read shit. Oh, really? Yes, really. You know why? Because in all this talking about your horrors book, in your breaking it to poor me that my government has been engaged in all sorts of fucked up shit, in all your failure to spark my interest even once, it never even occurred to you that maybe I'm not interested in this horrors book because I wrote the motherfucker. What? What do you say? Are you fucking shitting me? Do I sound like I'm remotely interested in shitting you? Yes, this little bookkeeper wrote it. What, you think the Secretary of Defense wrote the thing himself? You know, at first I felt kind of slighted that I didn't appear in your book even once. Then I realized you don't have a fucking clue what I do you? You have no idea. Because if you did, you wouldn't have wasted my time for the past 6.5 minutes. Instead, you'd have fallen out of your fucking hammock, and while you're on the floor, thank your commie god that I'm not the son of a bitch they sent after you. By the way, your coffee maker's broke and your new apartment sucks. Tell Fidel you want an ocean view. Of course, the son of a bitch hung up, and he hasn't called back. I suspect he'll never call me again. So, I'm going to read 2 more sections. So this, I'm going to jump to the 80s. And this is a character, her name is Dorcas Palmer. And Dorcas Palmer is a caregiver in New York in the mid-80s. What do you need to know? She works for a company called God Bless Employment Agency. Is there water here? Oh, right. And the other thing you need to know is that her name is not Dorcas Palmer. So this is her in the 80s. And if you don't understand the Jamaican, just pretend you do. So, you know how them girls stay? Come all the way to America and still going on like them is some dirty whore from Gully. Me tired of them girls so tell. Me just tell this one nasty slut who working for Miss Coulter's. Nasty slut, me say. As long as you working for this here job and lying under that there roof, you better lock up that pum-pum, you understand me? Lock up the pum-pum. Of course, the bitch never listened and now she pregnant. Of course, Miss Coulter's have to let her go on my recommendation, of course. Can you imagine? Some little stinking bottom nigger pitney run rapid round the place. On Fifth Avenue, no baba. The white people would have one of them white people things. I can nip chanterated. So does she go by Miss Coulter's or Ms. Coulter's? So does she go by Ms. Coulter's or Ms. Coulter's? What a way you stocious. Them going like you quick. Boy, sometimes I never know which. Soon as she start read some magazine named Ms., she says she named Ms. Coulter's, my love. Me just say ma'am. Ma'am, like some slavery thing? For once, she looked like she didn't know how to answer. It's 3 years now I'm with God Bless Employment Agency. And every time I come in, she has a brand new story about some ghetto slut who get pregnant on her watch. What I don't understand is why she always feel I'm the person to tell these things to. I'm not trying to be understanding or empathetic. I just want a fucking job so that my slumlord doesn't kick me out of my top-class fifth-floor walk-up with a toilet that makes all sorts of murder sounds when you flush it, and rats that now feel they can sit up with me on the couch and watch TV. Trying to use them slavery word around the Coulters. New York people don't like them kind of word remark. Oh. At least you have one of them Bible names them love on a Jamaican. Me even get a man a job last week. Can you imagine? Probably because him name Hezekiah. Who knows? Maybe them think that nobody with the name from the good book going thief. You're not no thiefing girl. She asks me this every week I come to pick up my pay, even though I've been there for 3 years. But now she look like she really wants to know. The Coulters aren't the usual clients, clearly. Where is my 10th grade teacher now for me to tell her that what doors I've opened up in life just by knowing how to speak correctly? Miss Betsy's looking at me. Some jealousy, sure. Some envy, too, because I have what beauty contestants call deportment. After all, I am a high school educated girl from Havendale, St. Andrew. Pride, of course, because she has somebody she can finally use to impress the Coulters. But pity, too. That one most definitely. She wondering how a girl like me come to this. No, Miss Betsy. Good. Don't ask me why I was walking on Broadway past 55th, because not a damn thing was going on, in the street or in my life, and that meant walking. Even I know it don't make no sense, though it explains why these people never stop walking. Even to somewhere when you can get by subway. You have to wonder, if everybody works in the city, why are there so many people on the street? So I was walking on Broadway to 128, and beside it, it was only a few blocks before Times Square when I got there, and Lord knows, you only need 10 minutes in Times Square to miss a charming place like West Kingston. Not like I would get caught in West Kingston. Anyway, so walking on Broadway past 55th, looking out for freaks and flashers and everything I see on TV, this little sign stick out, God Bless Employment Agency, which was enough to make it clear that Jamaicans run it. But if that didn't do it, then the proverb at the bottom of the sign, a soft answer turneth away wrath, which didn't have a rascal thing to do with anything, certainly did. The only thing left was to add international in the title. But I have some nerve thinking I could talk down to a place that exists to help losers like me. After all, there are only so many times you can call your American ex in Arkansas and ask for money to help, and he says, fine, I'll send you some cash, but if you ever call my house again and threaten to talk to my wife, I'll just make a call to the INS, and you'll see if you don't find your conniving nigger ass on the next fucking flight back to Jamaica, clutching one of those clear plastic bags I give deportees so all JFK can know what brand panty you wear. I didn't want to tell him that words like nigger didn't have quite the kick he was counting on, nor bitch, since Jamaican girl don't respond to them things. But yeah, I was in no position to walk past an employment agency. You know why I'm giving you the job? Because you is the first girl to come in here with some manners. Really, Miss Betsy? We've also had this conversation before. She runs an employment agency that places mostly black women, mostly immigrants, into posh places to take care of their very young children or very old parents who, news to me, have the very same needs. In exchange for us putting up with whatever shit, sometimes literally shit, they don't ask questions about immigration or employment status, so everybody wins. Well, two people win. I just collect the money. The first client she sent me to was a white middle-aged couple in Gramercy, too busy to notice their weak mother smelling like cat shit and talking about these poor boys on the USS Arizona. She was in a room by herself with a thermostat set at 50 degrees. The first time I met the couple, the wife didn't look at me at all, and the husband looked at me too long. Both were all black and the same black round glasses like John Lennon. She just said to the wall beside me, "She's in there, do what must be done." For a split second, I wondered if they expected me to kill the woman. And what woman? In the room was nothing but pillows and a bed sheet heaped up on the bed. I had to come in closer to see there was a little old woman in the middle of the bed. The piss and shit nearly made me walk out until I remember no money order was coming from Arkansas. Anyway, I lasted 3 months and it wasn't the shit. There always comes a point when you're living in a house with a man when you start to think he can walk around with no clothes on. The first time he do it, I could tell he was really hoping I'll be taken aback. But I just saw another old person to nurse. The fifth time he said the wife was gone to the Mother of Veterans meeting, and I said, "So you need me to figure out where you misplaced your brief?" The seventh time he jiggled it in front of me, I started to laugh so loud I hiccup. The mother in the room started shouting, "What was the joke?" And I told her I didn't care. She laughed too, saying his father was just the same. Always putting on a show when nobody bought any seats. From that day, the mother was always sharp around me. She even developed a little sass. Too much sass for cocky jiggler. I quit before he fired me, and I told Miss Betsy that while I will scoop up any load of shit, I will have nothing to do with a withered penis. She was impressed that I managed to stay in standard English the whole time, even when I asked if this was a whorehouse with granny care as a fringe benefit. It must be immaculate high school you come from, she said. Holy childhood, I say. Same difference, she said. I'm going to stop there before the holy childhood students kill me. So, I think we have time for one. How are we on time? Yeah? So I'm going to do, let me see, I was going to read that. I'll close with that. So I'm going to read, I was going to read that, but that's way too racy. So, all right, I'm going to read 2 sections, and I'm going to talk a little bit more, and maybe we'll have some questions and stuff like that. So I'm going to read a really, really salacious part. Yeah, it's really salacious. And then I'm going to read something else. So there's a character in the book, and her name is Kim Clark. And who here are Rolling Stones fans? So Rolling Stones has a song called "Some Girls." And in "Some Girls," Mick Jagger goes on and on about how all these different women of color have sex. And it's, and he says, black girls want to get all night and blah, blah, blah. And I always said, what if a black woman rewrote that talking about white men? So we're going to go there tonight. I'm just saying, I'm going to pull back my hair. There will be cuss words. All right. So this is Kim Clark. So Kim Clark says, I don't think of Kingston. I want to think about Andy Gibb. Almost as cute as John from Dukes of Hazzard. Andy Gibb, here, chest, here, chins, here, teeth, here. John the Duke smile, here, jeans, here like a girl, I just want to be your everything. But it's not I just want to be everything on the radio, no. It's do it light, take me through the night, shadow dancing. I know what I want. I want one night where I don't think of Luke Duke or Andy Gibb when Chuck is inside me. No, I didn't think that. Yes, I did. I should go cook this man his ackee. He likes it for breakfast. He won't mind it for dinner. I'll think about how I love his hair. Sooner or later, he's going to know Kim Clark. You think you're so smart. The man is bound to find out if he don't know already. This morning, I only took $10. It was the most in one shot. Last Friday, 5. 4 days before that, 6. No, it was 5. No, it was a $5 bill and two $1. I never touched the US. Look, he's just going to think it's cute. Which wife doesn't take from her husband's wallet? I'm not his wife. I'm going to be his wife. No, you're living together. It's what people do in the modern age. This is 1979. I really need to cook. I'm sure he doesn't know. I mean, what kind of man counts how much money he has in his wallet? An American man. All of them come to Montana's, white men that is. If the man is French, he thinks he gets away with saying cunt by saying you can't. Because we bush bitches will never catch his drift. As soon as he sees you, he will throw the keys at your feet saying, park my car, dépêche-toi. And I take the keys and say, yes, massa. Then go around to the woman's bathroom and flush it down the shittiest toilet. If he's British and under 30, then his teeth are still hanging on. And he'll be charming enough to get you upstairs, but too drunk to do anything. He won't care and you won't either, unless he vomits on you and leaves a few pounds on the dresser because that was such dreadful business. If he's British and over 30, you spend the whole time watching the stereotypes pile up. From the, let me speak to you slowly, darling, because you're just a little black. Speed off their speech, to the horrible teeth coming from that cup of cocoa right before bed. If he's German, he'll be thin, and he will know how to do it. Well, in a car piston kind of way. But he'll stop early because nobody can make Germans sound sexy. If he's Italian, he'll know how to do it too, but he probably didn't bathe before. Thinks there's such a thing as an affectionate face slap, and will leave money even though you told him you're not a prostitute. If he's Australian, he'll just lie back and let you do all the work, because even us blokes in Sydney heard about you Jamaican girls. If he's Irish, he'll make you laugh and he'll make the dirtiest things sound sexy. But the longer you stay, the longer he drinks. And the longer he drinks, well, for each of those 7 days, you get 7 different kinds of monster. But Americans, most of them spend a very long time, or an awful long time, trying to convince you just how like everybody else they are. I'm just an Okie from Muskogee. Even Chuck introduced himself as just a regular guy from Little Rock. When I said, why would anybody want to be just a regular guy, he did know how to answer. There's something about a man saying up front that what you see is what you get, nothing less but certainly nothing more. Maybe my standards were low. Maybe I just like that there was one man who said it like it was. I don't even think he found me that cute. Well, of course he did. He came over and said, howdy. And perfect timing too, right after the Frenchman was thrown out for shouting, where are my car keys, you cunt? And the Italian went over to dance with some stupid woman who flew here all alone because she saved up for 26 months, and damn it, this big fat bitch is going to fuck. The Italian wasn't the big, black, bulging, big cock mandingo that she read about in Mistress of Falconhurst, but his skin was a little dark, so he'd do. Of course, I was there every night. All right, so I swear not all of the book is totally filthy. So I'm going to, the last thing I'm going to read and talk about it a little bit, because the thing about the book is, one, Marley's not called Marley in the book, he's called a singer. And as you can tell by what I've read so far, sometimes he's not even a subject of that passage. So I was really more interested in the characters hovering around. There's this great essay that Gay Talese wrote called Frank Sinatra Has a Cold. If you've never read it, it's one of the greatest pieces of 20th century journalism. And it happened because Gay Talese went to Miami, actually, to interview Sinatra, and Sinatra wouldn't talk to him. The excuse was always, Mr. Sinatra has a cold. And Talese came across this great idea where, well, if you don't want to talk to me, I won't talk to you. And he started to talk to everybody around him. And he ended up building this sort of portrait of Sinatra. Even Sinatra started, I heard you're talking to people about me. Which, you know, if Sinatra says that, is probably the most scariest thing ever. And it became this landmark piece of journalism where instead of moving into the subject, the journalist circled the subject and stayed circling. So you start to define the character by everybody around them. So that's kind of why Marlon never becomes a character in the book, and he remains the singer. And only twice do people actually speak to him directly. So the last thing I'm gonna read is one of the characters who's talking to him directly. And that character just happens to be a ghost. His name is Sir Arthur George Jennings. So, now something new is blowing through the air. An ill wind, a malaria. Still more will have to suffer and many more will have to die. 2, 3, 100, 889. Meanwhile, I see you whirling like a dervish, under the rhythm and above it, jumping up and down the stage, always landing on your Brutus toe. Years before in a football field, a player wearing running spikes, who plays football in running spikes, stomped on your cleats and slashed the toe. When you were still a boy, you nearly sliced it in two with a hoe. A cancer is a rebellion, a cell gone rogue against the body, with turncoats turning the other way and seducing parts of you to do the same. I will divide your parts and conquer. I will shut down your limbs one by one and spill poison in your bones, because look, there's nothing in me but blackness. No matter how many times your mother wrapped it in gauze and sprinkled it with Gold Bond medicated powder, your toe was never going to heal. You're in the studio with the band making a new tune. Clock ticks by in Jamaica time. Watch us take 2 hits of the collyweed and pass on the left. 2 guitar leads wrap around each other, coiling tight like a snake. The new guitarist with shorter dreads, the rocker who loves Hendrix, plugs out. You shoot him a quick look with your eyes wide open. Don't leave me, don't have much time. You're playing football in Paris, in the green field below the Eiffel Tower. You play with anybody up for a game. Starstruck white boys and the man from the French national team. Your crew, even after years of touring, never get used to it. Cities that never sleep. They're sluggish, the French are not. The boys move like a unit even though most have never met before. One of them makes a bad play, steps hard on your right toe, and tears the nail off. You're in London. Cut that toe off. Cut it off right now, the doctor say. Stuff the boots with tissue, with cotton, with putty, and mum's the word. The room smells of antiseptic, thrown on shit to mask it, and of iron, as if somebody in the next ward is scouring steel pots. But Rasta already think a lame toe is a curse from God. What would they make of an amputated one? You're in Miami. The doctor cuts out the spot and grafts skin to the left foot. It's a success, he says, but not with those words. You can't remember the words exactly. But he says your cancer is gone. You have no cancer. And every night that you stomp down Babylon from the stage, your right boot fills near to the brim with blood. And something new is blowing. The second man came bearing gifts. You can't even remember him, but he came like one of the 3 wise men. You opened it and jumped. Somebody knew that every man in the ghetto wished he was the man who shot Liberty Valance. Brown boots, snake skin flirting with red. Somebody knew you love boots almost as much as you love brown leather pants. You pulled on the right boot and screamed like that boy who got his foot chopped off to split a coconut. You pulled the boot, flung it aside, and watched your big toe spurt blood with every pump of your pulse. Gilly and Georgie, they had knives handy, an incision to the stitch, flaying the skin of the boot, and there it was, a thin and pointed copper wire, a straight and perfect needle that made you think of Sleeping Beauty. You're in New York. It's September 21. Everybody knows you're always the first to wake up and the last to go to sleep, especially in the studio. Nobody notices that you haven't done either in a year. You wake up burning, the mattress has sucked 2 pounds of water from your skin, but you can hear the air conditioner humming. You don't know it's September 21. You have no memory of the second show the night before. You have no idea who you are, where you are, or who's here with you, but at least you know it's New York. You're jogging around Central Park. Different country, same crew. And for a second, you feel as if you're back in Bull Bay before the sunrise. A run on the black sand beach, a dip in the waterfalls, maybe some football, working up a healthy appetite for breakfast, all cooked by Gilly and waiting for you when you get back. But you're still in New York, and humidity is sweeping in. You lift your left leg high, widening your stride before it hits the dirt, but your right leg refuses to move. Your hip swings, is what kind of fucker this? But your right leg just won't move. And now your left won't move either. Both legs stall, even though you have commanded them with 3 bumperclats. Your friend is coming up behind you, and you turn to call out, but your neck twists about a ½ inch and locks. No nodding yes, no nodding no. A scream vanishes on the way from your throat to your lips. Your body is leaning, and you can't stop it. No, it's not leaning, it's falling, and you cannot stretch your arms out to break the fall. The ground slams into you face first. You wake up in the Essex house. Hands and feet recover, but the fear lingers. Too weak to leave the bed, you don't know they lied to your wife only minutes ago and turned her away. You wake up and smell sex, smoke, and whiskey. You see and wait, but nobody listens, nobody looks, nobody comes. Your ears wake up to friends running up charges to the room. Friends snorting foot after foot of cocaine. Friends fucking groupies. Friends fucking whores. Friends with friends. Rastaman on freebase with a chillum pipe. Men in suits, men on the make, businessmen drinking your wine, your room a temple waiting for Jesus to scour, or some prophet, or any prophet. But you sink in the bed, thankful that at least you can move your neck. Brooklyn boys pass by with guns. You have no strength to stand, no lips to curse, so you whisper, please close the door. But nobody hears. And when Essex House bursts, they spill into 7th Avenue. You collapse in Pittsburgh. It's never a good thing hearing doctors talk using a word that ends with oma. The oma has hopped and skipped and jumped from your foot to your liver, your lungs and brain. In Manhattan, they blast you with radium and your locks drop and scatter. You go to Miami, then Mexico, to the clinic that couldn't save Steve McQueen. November 4, your wife arranges a baptism in the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. Nobody knows that your name is Berhane Selassie. You're a Christian now. Somebody's driving you through Bavaria, near the Austrian border. A hospital sprouting out of the forest like magic. Hills in the background tipped with snow like cake icing. You meet a frosty Bavarian who helps the hopeless. He smiles, but his eyes are set too far back. Cancer is a red alert that the whole body is in danger, he says. Thank God the food he forbids, Rastafari had forbidden long time. A sunrise is a promise. But the Bavarian bows out. Nobody speaks of hope. Nobody speaks of anything. You're in Miami with no memory of the flight. May 11, eyes open. You're the first one up, just like old times. But all you see are old woman's hands, overrun with black veins and bony, jutting kneecaps. A plastic machine with veins pushed into your skin, doing all the living for you. You already feel like sleep, probably from all the drugs. But this one comes on like a creeper, and you already know that wherever you go this time, there is no coming back. Something coming from out the window, sounding like that Stevie Wonder tune, Master Blaster. In New York City and in Kingston, both skies blazing bright with noon white, thunder breaks out, and a lightning bolt slashes through the clouds. Summer lightning 3 months too early. The woman waking up in Manhattan, and the woman sitting on that porch in Kingston, they both know you're gone. Thank you. So I think we have some time for some Q&A, some questions. There's a mic right here in the center. You can ask, why do you write such a disgusting little book? Okay, it's not little, but. You know, I'm a teacher. I'll just throw questions to you. So, oh, there's a mic back there.
So I loved your book. Thank you so much. It was great. So I wanted to know, with so much history permeating the novel, I wanted to know if you had things you consciously wanted to include, or if the story drove your choices.
I think it's sort of a combination of both. Again, because of how this story really happened in a very organic way. It didn't start out with this assassination attempt and then sprang into all these branches. It started out with the random branches and sort of moved to the center. So there was things I definitely wanted. One of the things I know I wanted was middle class Jamaica, because one of the things there's lots of fantastic Jamaican fiction. We tend to lean rural, and why not? Rural Jamaica is endless in the stories you can get from it. But I wanted to know what it was like. I wanted to write about, what is it being a Jamaican in Doheny Park, in a suburb, in an urban area. So those are some of the things I know I wanted. The other thing I knew I wanted was the variety of Jamaican language. That even with patois, there's no one patois. So Uptown Girl like Nina is not going to sound like Demos, who lives in West Kingston. And I wanted to show the range and variety of that. So there's some deliberate things I wanted in it. But a lot of it with this book just kind of happened. It was just sort of, it's the book I had the least control over. So a lot of it was just, if you told me at the beginning of writing this book that it would deal with the Cold War so much, I wouldn't have believed it, because I really didn't intend for that. It's just that the wider I opened my eyes, is the bigger I saw the story, and it ended up being a story about the Cold War and the CIA and all of this crazy stuff that you have to read history books to pick up. And that's what happened by just sort of letting the story be the story and just fine. I had to it's almost as if these characters turned into real people and I turned into a reporter, which is kind of how, it's funny because my editor is a nonfiction editor. So it kind of really worked out, because in a weird way, he was being a newspaper editor and I was being a journalist. And that's how the book kind of happened. So it's a combination of both, I think. Thanks. Yes?
Hi there. Thank you for being here.
Sure.
I read somewhere about your many rejections that you got on the road to this book, and I was wondering if you could talk about if you have some sort of ritual when you get rejections. I just
You mean
got
other
two
than
new
cry?
ones yesterday. Yeah, I'm a writer.
Well, the thing is, first thing is, I'm not sure, it's actually not this book that was rejected. I think some of the newspapers have been reporting that. It was actually my first novel that was rejected 78 times. Not that I'm counting or anything. I don't know. The one thing I would say because rejection is a fact of life, I think, is one of the things that I think is what happened with me is that, I was sending it to the wrong people. I also think that certainly back then, that editors were a little too short-sighted. I think a lot of editors aren't prepared. If they see a brilliant, but crucially flawed work, usually this is where they jump in and edit. Like when Max Perkins got From Here to Eternity, he basically said, this is all right. It was like 500 pages. Like 400 of this is shit. 100 is good. Here's $100. Go rewrite it. And James Jones would come back and he's go, well, now you have 200 pages that are good and 200 that are crap. Here's another $100. Go write it. And that kind of nurturing, I think, isn't there. I think sometimes with rejections, if don't be afraid to ask why. Because actually, sometimes you can get a lot of really concrete information. The last person to reject my second novel actually gave me some concrete info. He was also a total jerk about it. But I had to like separate his attitude. Okay, I said far more worse things than jerk, and focus on the stuff he said. And I made all the changes and promptly sold it to a different agent. So screw him. So, but yes, sometimes I think it's worth asking them. Some editors will actually take the time out and say, well, this is where you went bad, or this is not the type of story we're looking for, and engage in a dialogue. You can actually develop a really good relationship with an editor who is not publishing your work. And even if they decide it's no longer the right fit, it's too easy to think everybody is a villain in the industry. And yes, there are quite a few of them, and there are some total assholes. But an editor doesn't want to not have new work, particularly if it's a magazine or so on. They always want fresh work. They always want discoveries. And sometimes it's worth asking them, could you even give me 3 pointers? Like so on, instead of just taking the rejection, because then you're in a vacuum. You have no idea why they're turning down your work. And it could also prove that they're turning down your work because they are idiots. And asking them will prove that they're idiots. So yeah, engage the dialogue. Instead of don't just take the rejection at face value, initiate the dialogue. Some of them will actually really speak to you. And it doesn't mean that they will eventually accept the work, but it can give you some really concrete stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. I have 2 questions. They're
Yes.
not really related to the book. My dean at Harvard, she wants to know, when are you coming to Massachusetts?
Was I just in Massachusetts? I don't know. Somebody invited me?
Well,
I'll go where I'm invited.
Okay, I'll tell her that. Second question is, I had a good friend by the name of Maurice James. Do you know him?
Oh, you mean my dad?
Oh, okay. Okay, he was my very, very good friend.
Yeah?
Yes, we went to law school together.
Ah.
Yeah,
So you graduated in 78?
that's correct.
Ah.
Yeah, yeah, we were in Barbados together.
Yeah.
And I remember he used to tell me about Marlon.
Uh-huh.
So that's you.
Oh, my God. Are you going to reveal embarrassing family details now?
Okay, I will. No, I have another angle. I won't say. All right, nice meeting you. Yes?
Yeah, thank you. You know, it's funny you should bring it up because it's my father's birthday today.
Oh, wow.
You know, he passed away in 2012.
Yes.
And, he was just a lot of my literary sensibility came from my dad. Me and my father used to have Shakespeare duels, like every other father and son. He would just start reciting some crap from Julius Caesar, and
that's Maurice, all right.
Yeah, and I'll
That's
just
correct.
hit him back with Hamlet.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, come on, Julius Caesar's a kid's play. Here's a soliloquy. And nobody would understand what the hell we're talking about.
Yeah, because I remember when he became a magistrate in Jamaica, and that was the last time I heard of him, and so we lost touch then.
Yeah. No, he also went to Antigua for a while.
Yes.
and so on. But yeah, he is.
Well, I predated him. I went to Antigua before. I was a magistrate in Antigua.
You see,
then he came after me.
his ghost will fight you on that.
Okay.
But thanks for.
Yes.
Yeah, it's always great to run into my dad's friends and
you
remember
very
the
much.
different contexts.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Christoph.
Hey, Marlon, longtime fan. I wanted to, because I remember reading that you used a plot chart for this novel specifically, and I just wanted to know it had to be really extensive, and just what was that like using the plot chart for this?
It was a really, really big moleskin notebook. But yeah, it was pretty big because there are a lot of characters, and one of the reasons why, there are quite a few reasons why I use a plot chart. One is, without one, I will play favorites. Because, you like everybody in your family, but you like some people more.
Yeah, true.
And especially the way I was writing this book, because I wasn't following a structure, I was following characters. Of course, I'm going to follow the people I like better. Yeah. And that kind of sort of kept things in check. The other thing is, because I was telling not just a big story, but a lot of these characters are involved in the same thing. And one of the pitfalls I found when you have a lot of characters is that you end up repeating stuff too much. Even sometimes they're adding new perspectives, but a lot of times you're just repeating information that the reader already knows. So that it kept that in check. I also, with this, I needed to know where everybody was. Yeah. Even if it doesn't appear in the book. I need to know who's sleeping, who's where they shouldn't be, who's shooting somebody, who's whatever. And it kept me, there are writers who can hold all of it in their heads. I am just not one of those writers. I'd need it down somewhere outside of my head so I can worry about important things like Miley Cyrus. Yeah, it's
Yes.
that was a good way of, and it's funny, writing, when I write in a different medium, like screen or stage, and my screenwriter friends are like, we've been doing this for years. How are you going to block it? How is he going to know? And I think that some writers are afraid of stuff like plotting and charting because it sounds so uncreative and it sounds like you're doing formula, and it's not. What you're doing is actually sort of freeing up that muse. That it's like routine. If you sit down, you work with a routine and you sit down to work, the muse, the inspiration, the gods will show up. Because they're like, oh, you're serious about being an artist now. And I think that's it, so it works. So yeah, I'm a big believer in that. The funny thing is, even when I write plot charts, I rarely follow them. I just need that space to get it all down.
Awesome. Thanks, Marlon.
Thanks. Well, thank you guys for coming out. This is Wednesday, right? Okay.
I have a quick question.
Oh, quick question. Yes.
How long did it actually take you to write the book?
It took me 4 years to write it. And which, that's actually not a long time for a big book, but it was the only thing I was doing. I only wrote one short story in addition to it.
And the second part is, because you read the salacious part here tonight, I'm here with my 15-year-old son. Can I leave that for him to read?
Yeah. I swear it's not all salacious. Granted, there are more than 7 killings, but. Girl, thank you guys. Thanks for coming out. Thank you. You gonna do some housekeeping stuff?
Thank you so much for coming, everyone. Thank you, Marlon, for joining us tonight. Marlon's going to be signing at the table right here to my left. Book sales are outside. And there's another session coming up with Tom Brokaw. And for all of you who are not staying, the Swamp is on the block, and there's music and film and I know a bar. Thanks so much again. Good night.
Once again, we will be having another session, an evening with